How's it going, guys? This is Twister, and today I'm bringing you another video because yesterday me and 3 other friends of mine managed to complete the $10 million Criminal Mastermind challenge with the Heist DLC, which was pretty amazing. And because of that, I'm obviously going to be sharing with you guys some really awesome tips, just to basically help you guys if you plan on going for this challenge, because I honestly do believe that a lot of people will be able to do the challenge, even if they think it's a bit daunting, even if they think it's impossible. Trust me, it's not. I'm going to be breaking it down to you guys and hopefully encouraging you guys to try this challenge. So before I get into it, I want to leave some massive shout outs to the teammates that I did this challenge with, and that was with LT's on the live on his Twitch stream. I'll leave his link in the description. Blue Wolfie and Westy, I'll also leave those guys' Twitter and YouTubes in the description, so you guys can even just leave them a message saying congratulations on completing the $10 million challenge. Also, if you don't even know what the $10 million Criminal Mastermind challenge is, it's basically playing through all the heist missions and setups and finales, doing them all in order with the same team without dying. So you might think straight away that sounds absolutely impossible, but obviously there's a lot of people that have done it now, I do believe, and I'm telling you guys right here that it's not impossible, and I'm going to be going over some really useful tips. Even if you guys don't want to do the actual challenge itself and you just need some tips for doing the heist, these will definitely help you out. So the first one, and this is probably the main one, these are how you can actually prepare for the heist missions and heists themselves. You got to be focused and you got to be able to communicate. You've got to know your team, and you've got to be able to communicate effectively and obviously work as a team, because that is just so important. I think being focused is the main thing, because we actually spent like a full day. I think the actual from starting the first Fleecer job mission to actually finishing this specific standard mission, which you see now, it took us 9 hours. So we had to be focused throughout them 9 hours, which that in itself takes a lot of work. So if there's one recommendation, I wouldn't recommend doing it in one day. I'd recommend taking breaks, maybe doing it over a few days, taking breaks in between, or however you guys want to do it. Even though it is quite difficult to make sure that you've got you and 3 other people ready to do the challenge over a few days, you might think that's pretty difficult, but honestly, if you can schedule it in and make sure you guys do it over a couple of days, just to make it a lot easier, and that's so important. And the communication side of things as well. Not only will you have your own actual specific roles within the heist that the obviously leader will set, you've got to assign yourself roles anyway. I mean, even in the setup missions, for example, the convoy mission, which is a setup mission for the Pacific Standard heist, you've got to take down a convoy, and you'll have choppers coming at you, and that goes for any other mission with choppers anyway. You want to, this is a good example, you want to assign someone that's going to be taking out those choppers, obviously with something like a lock-on launcher, just so everyone knows specifically what they're going to be doing in that mission, just to make it a lot easier, so you guys will be able to work a lot more effectively as a team. So yeah, that's why communication and focus is absolutely key. Next up, another way to be able to prepare for these heists are to use snacks and body armor. So pretty much every mission, or before every few missions, you want to go down to the shops in free mode and buy as many snacks as possible, and you want to go down to ammunition and buy as much super heavy armor as possible. So every time you take gunfire, every time you lose health, you want to be putting back on body armor, you want to be eating snacks. Obviously eat the snacks while in cover, so you get the instant health regeneration, and that will just prove so effective. It's obviously being able to stay alive for longer, because you cannot die. You cannot die at all. One death and the whole thing is over. So imagine dying on the final heist when you could have just ate a couple snacks and survived throughout the mission. So that just proves how key it is. You need to be able to survive, and obviously if you're able to eat the snacks to bring yourself back up to full health, it just makes it a lot easier. And another thing that's going to make these heist missions a ton easier, and this is probably the big thing that I don't think a lot of people know about, maybe you guys do know about this, but as you can see in the gameplay right now, we're using our own player saved outfits, and those outfits are called heavy heist gear. You can go down into any clothes store and buy these outfits, and then if you set the heist mission outfits in the lobby to player saved outfits, you'll be able to use these outfits, and these these reduce the damage that you take from enemies by a lot, and you will probably see through this gameplay, you'll probably notice it yourself if you do try this out. You will be able to survive so much easier. The trade-off to using this outfit, this armored outfit, is that you run a lot slower. You can't properly sprint, but you can quite easily combat that just by jumping when there's no enemies. As you can see, you can travel a lot faster. But that's another thing. You don't need to go fast when you're doing these heists. You can take your time. You don't need to go through them fast. You don't need to be sprinting all over. You can just take your time, and that's obviously another thing that this armor is beneficial. Not only are you able to take a lot less damage, it pretty much forces you to take your time, which in itself is a very big advantage. So along with using the heavy armor itself as an outfit, make sure you guys utilize the armored vehicles that have come with this heist update. First of all, the Kuruma is a very good choice if you want to get some speed, actually get into the setup missions and locations, or even the Insurgent, which in itself is a huge heavy duty vehicle. So while you're using these armored cars, obviously they also reduce the amount of damage you're going to take coming from enemies while in a vehicle. You want to be having all 4 players in this vehicle, not 4 players in their own armored Kuruma. You want 4 players in one armored Kuruma, and that means that obviously one person's going to be driving it, but then the other 3 passengers in the car, they'll be able to lock on to any enemies that are in the vicinity, and that's a huge thing in itself, because if everyone's driving their own Kuruma, they're all driving it and they won't be able to lock on to enemies. Whereas if you've got 3 passengers in one Kuruma, it just makes it so much easier, because the lock on in a vehicle is so strong, and it just allows you to take down enemies a lot faster. And even though you don't take too much damage in the Kuruma, you still can take damage. So if you're taking out enemies a lot quicker, then obviously it's going to reduce the amount of damage that they can give to you. So obviously meaning that you guys are going to be able to survive for a lot longer and hopefully do these missions without dying. Another huge tip, which is more or less just common sense, but you won't believe how many people are actually doing this, and it's using explosive, which you definitely do not want to do. Explosive not only can it kill yourself, but if you blow something up that's next to a teammate, it's going to kill that teammate as well. So just keep the explosives to an absolute minimum. I think the only explosives that I used throughout all of these was the lock-on launcher to take down helicopters. I never used an RPG, because if a player walks in front of you when you're firing an RPG, it won't kill your teammate, but it's going to blow you up straight away and you're going to fail the whole challenge. Grenade launchers are really dodgy sometimes, because you can hit like an invisible wall if you're trying to shoot it round cover, and then it's just gonna fall by your feet and blow you up. Same with grenades, same with sticky bomb and mistimed sticky bomb. It's just gonna cost you the whole challenge, and it's definitely not worth it. There's not gonna be a scenario where you need sticky bombs or any explosives to stay alive. If you're taking your time and if you're being wise in combat, then you don't need explosives, and you can just use a normal weapon, take your time, and then just obviously do it and communicate how you would normally in any other mission. So that's one thing you definitely need to keep in mind, and that's to not use any explosives at all, or keep them to an absolute minimum. Another great tip that's going to help you guys in combat is setting your weapons in the weapon wheel before you actually engage in any combat. So what I mean by this is, before you go into any type of combat, for example, when all 4 members are waiting inside the bank ready to push out, you don't want to push out straight away. You want to set up all your weapons. So for example, I'll get the assault shotgun ready in my shotgun slot, the special carbine ready in my assault rifle slot, the homing launcher or usually minigun in my heavy weapon slot, and then something like the SMG in my SMG slot, which just makes it so much easier, because if you're in combat and you're trying to switch to a shotgun, but you realise that you've got the musket enabled, then you're gonna take shots and lose health while trying to switch weapons. So that could be absolutely catastrophic. So again, just do it while you're in cover. Take your time in combat. You don't need to rush anything. You don't need to rush up and take down as many enemies as possible with like an assault shotgun or something. Stay back and use an assault rifle. It's a lot more beneficial than it is running in trying to shoot down as many enemies as possible. So yeah, setting your weapons and obviously hanging back and just taking out enemies and pushing up through different missions as you go through them is a lot more worthwhile than trying to shoot all enemies at once. Next up, and this is something you're going to be seeing right now in the gameplay, and that's going to be finding your own strategies throughout all of the missions and all the heists. As you can see, we're doing the Pacific Standard job, and we're taking jet skis down to the dinghy. That's right, jet skis. We're not bothering to stay on the bikes going up to the canyon, because that's a death trap. When you're on a bike, you can get shot so easily. There's absolutely no cover. You're gonna have cop cars swarming you until you die, trying to knock you off your bike. And then once you get knocked off your bike, you're pretty much screwed. The heavy armor is gonna save you a little bit, and maybe give you one chance to get back on your bike. But then if you get knocked off your bike again, then you're probably gonna get shot down by the cops before you've even got a chance to get up, maybe shoot one, and then get back on your bike. So this is such a good strategy. I mean, there's so many ways you can do this mission. There's so many ways you can do any other heist in the game. You just gotta find your own strategy, because with this one in particular, the actual objective says head to the canyon, but you don't need to head to the canyon. You can just head straight to the dinghies. So you can find any route with any vehicle you can possibly do, which suits your team, which your team can obviously execute effectively in order to get this heist done. So as you can see, we're doing jet skis now. You might think jet skis are a really bad thing, because again, you've got no cover, you can get shot off your jet ski easily, but you actually can't. I mean, one of our teammates, I think this was Zonda, he actually falls off his jet ski, which even then is not catastrophic, because you can kind of take cover underwater. I mean, there aren't too many boats. There's usually like a few helicopters, 1 or 2 boats at most that you've got to worry about, whereas if you're on a bike, you'll have 6 or 7 cop cars every few seconds, to be honest, which is definitely not a good way to go about things. So yeah, finding your own strategies is key, and making sure that your team knows these strategies as well, which is great. And obviously the communication side of thing comes into play there. When Sonda falls off his boat, he's able to communicate with us, tell us straight away that we've got to come back for him, because he don't know where his jet ski is, so we can just go and pick him up straight away and head back to the dinghies. And also, this one also comes into play in this mission and other missions, and more so in this mission, but if you guys are sticking together as a team, you'll be a lot more effectively, even when playing through missions when you're shooting people on foot, various different enemies. If you're sticking together, obviously means you can take down a lot more enemies at once. The enemies have got a lot more people to shoot at, so you're not just getting shot at by yourself. It just makes it a lot more effective to being able to take out certain areas of enemies, and obviously being able to push up to an objective or something like that. So I've already mentioned the taking your time and being able to play defensively, and all of this adds up to basically one of the most important things. All of this shows that it's not about actually being good at GTA. It's a lot of the communication, being focused, and obviously executing a lot of these tips, knowing the game. You don't have to be massively skilled at shooting loads of enemies at once and being able to survive a ridiculous situation where you're surrounded by enemies, and pulling off some amazing kills or anything like that. It's not about being good at the game. You can have a full team of fairly average players, but if you utilize these tips and you're able to survive, then I think anyone can honestly do this challenge. So just in case any of you guys watching this video didn't believe me that we actually managed to do this challenge, here is what it looks like when you complete the final heist. You'll obviously get the screen where you have a look at the elite challenges. But here we go. Here's the all in order bonus challenge, the loyalty challenge, and obviously the criminal mastermind challenge. So we did all those 3 in one. So we managed to get the actual $12 million. But obviously the main one that we were going for is the huge $10 million. So there we go. There we have it. There we go. There is the proof in the pudding that we did manage to do this challenge. And also, as you can see, you don't actually need to do any elite challenges for any of the heists. It is just the criminal mastermind challenge itself, not dying, doing all the heists in order, and obviously doing them all with the same team. So hopefully you guys will benefit from these tips amazingly. So I want to say a massive thanks to you guys for watching this video. If you found any of these tips useful, or if you really now feel encouraged to complete this heist challenge, then I really would appreciate you leaving a like rating and comment what you think of these tips, and obviously let me know your own tips. Share your own tips in the comments. Obviously I've researched a few of these, but a lot of these I've just found by playing myself, just playing the game, playing through these heists and noticing what works, what doesn't, what is really helpful strategies and tips. So obviously you guys will definitely have your own tips that you guys should really share in the comment section, help each other out. If you guys have any additional useful tips that you guys want to share. Also, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and you have enjoyed this video and you want to stay up to date with more videos on Heist DLC and GTA 5 in general, yeah, don't forget to check out LT Zonda, Blue Wolfie, and Westy. LT Zonda is a friend of mine. He live streamed this whole thing on Twitch, which hope maybe a few of you guys watch. I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely check out his live stream. Blue Wolfie, check them out. Check Westy out in the description. And yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will hopefully see you all in my next video. And with that being said, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.